Tag TV and Tag Radio. Be seen and heard by both technology users and technology producers throughout the state of Georgia and around the world. Low cost, big benefits, powerhouse online branded video and audio has arrived. Tag TV, Tag Radio, there's a lot more to know. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by GlobalSpeak.com, new media consultants, corporate video and audio communications, video and audio production and distribution, live and virtual event production. Tag TV and Tag Radio is a service of GlobalSpeak.com, creatively delivering powerful marketing, video, and audio solutions. Are you dreaming? You have just been named one of 40 in all Georgia recognized among the elite innovative technologies in the entire state. That's right, recognized as a result of a true competition, unbiased and celebrity judged by a panel of the industry's leading venture capitalists, tech CEOs and CIOs, top entrepreneurs, and world-leading academics. But wait, that's not enough. Next, you become one of 10. That's right, among the hundreds that are considered, narrowed down to 40 by the most accomplished and experienced judges of innovation, you are selected as a top 10 innovative technology company and invited to speak at the premier technology industry event of the year, the Technology Association of Georgia's 2011 Georgia Technology Summit. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, January 18th, 2011, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia. Let the word go forth from here to all that are or know a top technology company in the state of Georgia that this Tech Talk is for you. Up to the top 40, top 10 competition and award recognition is the event's founder and committee chairman, leading merger and acquisition attorney, Dennis Zakas. Now heading this most prestigious competition and resulting recognition for the 7th year in a row, Dennis once again, along with a remarkable list of technology industry's most recognizable leaders and as judges, announced the call for applications for the 2011 Georgia Technology Summit Top 40, Top 10 Innovative Companies in Georgia Awards recognition. Dennis's vast career has spanned technology, telecommunications, pharmaceuticals, healthcare, manufacturing, distributing, transportation, logistics, and real estate, more or less reflecting the breadth of both the applicants and the winners of this prestigious award, now some 240 since the beginning of the elite recognition. Are you one of 40? Potentially one of 10? Do you know a company in all of Georgia that stands out in innovative technology worthy of the state's top innovative recognition? It's Georgia Technology Summit time. It happens this March. Let's Tech Talk Top 40, Top 10 award process and potential for 2011 with its founder and committee chair, technology industry leading attorney, Dennis Zakas. Well, Dennis, welcome to Tech Talk.
Oh, thank you.
Obviously, we're heading into our 7th year, believe it or not, Georgia Technology Summit, top 40, top 10 innovative technology companies in the state. I'm guessing just by the sheer mathematics, we're talking close to almost 300 companies being recognized over a 7-year period of time. You being at the very early days, actually at the beginning and first started the whole concept, tell our audience a little bit about how the companies actually compete. How do they get recognized in this competition?
Well, from the beginning, we started with a different spin on recognition of technology companies. Most of the events focused on how financeable a company was, whether it would receive venture capital financing, how much money it was going to make, those kinds of things. When we started the first Georgia Technology Summit in 2005, we came to the conclusion that what really was unique about Georgia was innovation and how Georgia had its share, more than its share, of innovative companies, but we felt that these companies weren't necessarily receiving the kind of attention and the kind of spotlight that they deserve. So the first Georgia Technology Summit was all about innovation, and in fact, all 7 of the technology summits have a common theme of innovation in the state of Georgia. what we thought was really intriguing about our community of the state of Georgia and the technology industry was that there were a number of individual technology companies which represented and manifested the spirit of innovation that pervaded the whole state. So it was a logical development as we put together the agenda for the first summit that we would try to come up with a way of spotlighting those companies. And again, the theme was innovation. So the result of all that was that we decided that we should judge companies based on innovation, the degree of their innovation, their financial impact and scope of innovation, whether they were going to be successful and promote Georgia's innovative efforts nationally, internationally. So to be a top 40 company, we decided then, and it's been consistently true, the company has to be a Georgia company. It has to be a technology company, that is, a company that sells its technology rather than a company that benefits from third parties' technologies. And it has to be innovative. It has to be an innovative technology.
You know what's ironic? You know what's ironic about what you're saying, Dennis, also is I think most experts, economists, all agree that the real solution to the current malaise, as far as economic conditions are concerned, is going to be found in innovation, not necessarily in efficiency or other things that might be driven by IT, but rather the concepts and ideas that are going to be coming from the entrepreneurial community. Talk a little bit about, there's a lot of activity over the last several years that have created a lot of, I hate to say less important awards or awards that don't seem to have the kind of gravitas that the top 40 and top 10 seem to have year after year. Tell us a little bit about the difference, and you're kind of commenting on the difference between these awards and, say, the Excalibur Awards. I think I interrupted you there, but you were about to explain.
Well, certainly there are other awards that, and TAG gives some of them out, and other organizations give others out. And there are plenty of awards that recognize other, great accomplishments, and that should be recognized. You mentioned Excalibur. Excalibur Awards recognize companies which have used other people's technologies in furtherance of their business. We decided from the beginning in this competition that we would be focused on innovation, the impact of innovation, the scope of innovation, what innovation means to the state. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to innovation. So when we review the applications for the top 40 from a variety of excellent companies, many of those companies are great companies. Many of them are technology companies. But even great companies with great technology sometimes cease being innovative. We look to see if they're innovative now. Mm-hmm. How are they innovative? If they've been a winner in the past, what's changed since their past accomplishments? And it's a sort of a what have you done for me lately mentality. We want to stay current, and we want to be focused on what really is innovative, because we agree with you. We agree that the hope for our economy, and again, different economic circumstances in 2005, but throughout, the hope for the economy is innovation, and the hope for Georgia is the fact that in a variety of sectors, we have a great deal of innovation going on.
Several times you've used the word we in terms of the judging. I think one of the things that makes these awards so important and gives them such gravitas is the challenge that they go through to actually reach the recognition, and that's coming from the quality, the real experience and background and prestige of the judges. Maybe touch a little bit about on who the judges are, how the process kind of works, and what your role is on the committee.
Oh, I'd be happy to do it. I'm the chair of the committee. I guess given the excellence of the people surrounding me, I guess I'm more of a servant than I am anything else, because the people on this committee are truly outstanding and very, very knowledgeable about the innovation that's going on in Georgia, about the technology industry, and other aspects that really benefit the decision-making process. I'm the committee chair, in part because I guess I started the committee and started the competition in conjunction with the first Georgia Technology Summit, of which I was chair. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, some of the people on the committee are truly household names, including people like Sig Mosley, who is the Dean of Angel Investors, Stephen Fleming, who's held a variety of different roles as a venture capitalist and a VC, people from the investment community who've been around for years, like Frank Dalton from Fulcrum and Ed Croft, technology executives from a variety of different kinds of companies, successful entrepreneurs or successful CEOs of tech companies like Kelly Gay, and younger people like Josh Silver, and folks like that, Spence McClellan from Nora Mosley. It's just a wide variety of people who are the movers and shakers in the technology company. This is really important for the process to have people of this quality and with the breadth of experience that I was alluding to. It's actually a fairly easy process to get started. There's, on the TagWeb page, a very easy link to an application, and the application doesn't take that long to prepare.
Well, before you go there, when you say apply, can a company itself apply, or does it need to be nominated, or
No, the company itself. We go both ways on that.
Okay.
In many cases, people who know of innovative companies apply them or encourage them to apply, and then many innovative technology companies apply on their own.
So really, one of the messages that needs to go out is to say to people, if you know of a company that is really cutting edge, that's doing some very, very innovative things, who may or may not even be aware of these awards actually happening, to make sure that they are made aware of them. Because one of the things that this is that it's representing the state of Georgia. It's very difficult. We're covering an entire state. And when you think of the depth and the breadth of all of the different verticals and the layers and numbers of companies that are involved in new innovation, it's very difficult to, one, identify, and two, get the message out without some help. But the important thing is that after it's all said and done, that top 40 and top 10, not only are they recognized for themselves and be able to take home that recognition, they're also captured heroes, if you will, of promoting the state from a global standpoint for innovative technology.
Well, that's a great point, Frank, in two respects. One is on the geographical side, the farther you get from Atlanta, the less people know about the program, but there's some great technology companies throughout the state.
Sure. And
so we're trying to reach out to chambers of commerce, as we have in the past, and others in various communities around the state, but it's really important for the entire state to participate, and we have been successful at increasing the focus on non-Atlanta companies, but we've got to do an even better job of that. A second thing that I should mention is that we've started a subcommittee of folks that are in the life sciences, medical devices, medical technologies area, who that's a very strong sector of our technology community and very innovative, and a group that knows those companies, which tend to be a little different in many cases from the more traditional technology companies. And so these folks are out there beating the bushes to try to find us the most innovative companies in that area or those related areas. So I absolutely agree with you.
So to go back again, it isn't just being nominated or recognized by someone else. It's the fact that you can apply for yourself. Obviously, if you know of some company or you think of a company that you just blows your way and you know they're innovative, to communicate with them and let them know about the opportunity to get this kind of recognition. And then finally, I, again, kind of interrupted. You were about to say that the process is relatively automated, correct? I mean, you go online and on to tagonline.org, and there's an application form. Go ahead.
You're exactly right. And the process of applying turns out to be very easy. The process of choosing the companies, well, I don't want to necessarily show how all the sausage is made, but basically by having a committee of this breadth of experience and knowledge, what happens is we go behind the scenes of the application, we read the application, we get our bearings, Almost always someone on the committee or multiple people on the committee is familiar with the applicant, and we go to the website, we look into press releases, and we talk to each other about the companies and really do a drill down to try to figure out, what the degree of innovation is. Because, the truth of the matter is that every business has some degree of innovation, presumably, but we're looking for the real stars, the real shining lights of the state. So we really work hard to do it, and that's just for the top 40. The top 10 process, which I think is an important distinction, from the top 40, we pick the top 40 applicants, and in past years we've had, 150 applicants for the top 40. And so it's a long process that involves a lot of work. Once we get that 40 down, we look at the top 40 and try to identify somewhere between 16 and 20 of the 40 who are eligible, in our view. Everyone's eligible, who move on to the next round for consideration of the top 10. And the top 10 is an even more prestigious award granted as part of this competition and has a number of benefits, and I can talk to you more if you want about benefits, but one of the main benefits is the top 40 are participating in a showcase, which is in a trade show kind of format, but a showcase right outside the main hall of the Georgia Technology Summit. But the top 10 companies give 3-minute presentations to the entire audience, which has exceeded 1,000 people, from the technology committee, a number of movers and shakers that you'd really want to be in front of. And interestingly, they speak for 3 minutes about how they are innovative, not how investing in them is going to make you, the next multi-billionaire, but how are we innovative, and how do our innovations affect or potentially affect the state? So top 10 is an even greater honor, and the process for choosing the top 10 is it involves an extreme time commitment, involving presentations, coaching, coming back to speak to us, spending, hours and hours going through the finalists for the top 10 until the truly 10 most innovative companies are identified.
Okay, so we scan across the entire state of Georgia. You're not limited by any vertical as far as any potential innovation that has to do with technology, and it's about companies that create technology innovation, not necessarily use it or don't use it. And we get a spectrum of applicants and nominations. They go through a screening process to identify the top 40. Those top 40 are given recognition at the premier event of the year, the Georgia Technology Summit. March 23rd it'll be coming up. This year, I understand it's really, really going to be historic because we're focusing now on where Georgia leads in a number of different verticals. So we're actually thinking that the attendance could really top a lot of past attendance records, but as never before. So they get that opportunity to be out in front of those players and those people that are involved in the industry. And then the selection committee actually then goes and drills down and goes through another selection process yet again to identify the top 10 companies who in turn get an opportunity to actually present live at the podium at the Georgia Technology Summit along with other VIPs and leaders and futurists that are actually keynote speakers at the event. That's pretty impressive as far as that goes. And all of this is nothing, I shouldn't say nothing more, but it's taking the effort to go to the website and start the process by filling out the application.
It really couldn't be easier, and the benefits to not only to the companies themselves that are selected, but also to the technology community of the state, the technology industry of the state, vastly exceed the small amount of time it takes to get the process started. Now, I will say, as the process continues, particularly for the companies that are chosen to be a finalist for the top 10, the presentations, generally speaking, end up being excellent at the summit. But that's the product of some hard work, not only on the part of the committee, but also on the part of the companies. But I'll mention an interesting byproduct of that, and that is that these companies who go through the process of making a presentation to the committee, and then we evaluate it and go back and forth with the company to improve the presentation, every year, several of those companies, whether they make it to the top 10 or don't make it to the top 10, have thanked the committee and said that they now understand their business better than they've ever understood their own business before, in terms of what's core to the business, what's different about the business, how it's innovative, and how that helps them in terms of differentiating themselves to their customers and to their investors. So the process is well worth it, and the result is that everyone at the summit benefits from having these great presentations that people work very hard on.
Well, and the buzz factor that comes out of the GTS after the summit is over, and you just know that those top 10 players are being talked about for weeks on end afterwards, and how you leverage that recognition to your benefit. I clarify a point, though, because I don't want people to be maybe misunderstand. We're not talking about startups now. You can be, but we're also talking about fast, high growth. We're also talking about mid-size. Isn't that correct? I mean, we're not just talking about refining a business plan here. We're talking about people that are already up and running.
Right. For the most part, and I'll give you an exception, but in the main criteria for this event these are innovative technology companies that have customers, that have products, that have software, that have ongoing businesses which are generating revenues. Now, in some cases, and they're really very few, but in some cases we have had some technologies which by their nature take a number of years to develop and be ready for the marketplace, or technologies that are so apparently disruptive and so different that we've chosen them for the top 40, and in one or two cases the top 10. And so I don't want to say that those companies could never make it, but in judging whether a company is truly going to be innovative, it's not probably too much to ask that they show that they really do have customers and they really are selling to the marketplace. And so that's always been a pretty important criterion. There are other business launch competitions and business plan competitions which talk about great ideas, and those are great too, and a lot of those competitions feed into our competition a year or two later, and often we find that we have applicants who have won other kinds of business launch competitions and really were successful. But some of those other companies, had great business plans but never really got off the ground, and typically those companies, wouldn't make it into our we're trying to highlight the innovation in the state, and part of that is just picking companies and highlighting companies who are already starting to make a difference, and you can see the path, you can see the trajectory that they are on, and if you went back and looked at the top 40 winners, I think you would see a number of very strong companies who've had positive exits in some cases, or are still growing and contributing to our state's economy.
Dennis Zakas, the top 40, top 10 innovative technology company, actually founder of the concept and the idea of the recognition, and as now going into its 7th year, the Georgia Technology Summit. One last quick question, and that is deadline for the applications?
Well, I think the deadline is in about 32 days from today, so plenty of time. But I think folks should get going and get their applications in. The sooner you get them in, the sooner you'll know. And I think it's just a great thing to do, and now's a good time to do it as the month proceeds.
It's definitely
the applications, keep increasing. It's great to get in there and get highlighted early on.
It's a win-win across the board. Dennis, for many of us who know of the amount of time and energy that you've put into the Technology Association, and for those listeners who may not know, Dennis Zakas is one of the top technology attorneys in the state, if not in the United States, in the industry. but also a leader and a volunteer at TAG for many, many years. Dennis, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule for all the things you do and for taking a few minutes to be with us today on Tech Talk.
Well, thank you so much, Frank. I really enjoyed the conversation.